All right, today we're gonna talk about upgrading your dumbbell row, or more specifically, rowing for some shoulder health. So when we look at the internet, there's all these things you can do to fix your shoulders, right? Or maybe you need to row twice as much as you press. But in reality, it's probably not true. But there are some things we can do in your rows that hopefully will improve the way your shoulders move, aka how your shoulder blade or your scapula move on your rib cage. And if those things are happening, you're probably gonna have happier shoulders. So if you do a lot of pressing where you're trying to lock your shoulders down, where that's probably actually not really happening, I won't go too much detail on that. But if you hop on over to Coach Kassem, Kassem, he just did a big breakdown of how people truly aren't locking their shoulder blades down. There is some motion. If you want to learn a little more on that, he dived into detail, so I'm not going to cover that because that was a great job by him. So go find that. I think it's on Instagram. But if we look at your rows, and we're not going to go over every type of row, right? Because we can do different rows depending on what muscle group we want to work on. But we're more going to focus on how we finish the row, okay? And also how we start the row, since we're going to do that at the same point. Really, we want to focus on a nice reach. So when I start the row, I want to make sure I'm not locked back, or I'm not thinking about locking my shoulders in. I'm actually letting them reach. I'm not rounding over, I'm not shrugging. We're just letting a nice reach happen with the dumbbells. Now, if you have a machine, I know machine training, but those work really well to learn this principle too. Now we can start to apply this to like a 1-arm row, a 3-point row, a cable row, whatever row variation you're choosing. You can use this little technique, but it's much easier to learn when we can lock our upper body in with some sort of bench or machine. All right, that's gonna help us up front. So we're gonna do this little chest supported version, and all I'm gonna think about is letting the dumbbells get a nice reach, right? I'm letting my shoulder blades reach around my rib cage. Those two things, those shoulder blades need to slide and glide around the rib cage. That's usually gonna help shoulders move and feel a little better. Maybe if you're somebody who's limited going overhead, sometimes just learning this reach will start to help that, okay? So when we set up, once again, we're just gonna have a nice reach happen, then we're gonna pull them back, and once again, when we return to the bottom, we wanna make sure we're getting a full reach with the shoulder blade. So rowing, and then a nice reach at the bottom. And that's it. We just wanna think about a nice reach of the arms, but really letting shoulder blades wrap around the rib cage there to upgrade your row, okay? That's gonna probably, hopefully allow you to feel and move a little better, all right? So that's today's tip. That's the way to upgrade your rows. Just let a little reach happen and see what happens after that.